Hi, this is Ryan at Rad Ideas, and recently I asked a bunch of people connected to me what was their pain point when it came to church communications. If they could ask any question they wanted to ask, what would it be? And I came up with a huge list of questions, and a lot of those questions really come down to some key similarities. But even with the similarities, there was a ton of fantastic questions. So I thought about ways that I might answer those questions. And it seems like the best way to do that is to tackle one question a week in what I'm going to call the Ask Rad Ideas. So starting today, I'd like to answer one of those questions that came from one of the people who've been following my email list. And that question is, how far out should we be promoting events? Because it seems that people get bored seeing things too many times. Now, I totally understand the challenge that you're going with here. It's a fine line between over-promoting and under-promoting. But you need to think about something. The average person needs to hear about an opportunity 3 to 7 times before they're connected enough with it to feel like they're going to make an informed decision about it. And the challenge there is 3 to 7 times means you've got to present things a lot of times for your congregation to hear about it. But the added piece to that is some information that just came from Barna recently in one of their research projects, and that's that the majority of people who would say they are connected to your church attend fewer than 2 times a month. Now that creates a challenge because they're in the building less than 2 times a month, but we need some people to hear about things 3 to 7 times. So how on earth do we do that? Well, I found for the people I'm working with in the churches and organizations that we've really got to be talking about something 6 to 8 weeks before the event happens. Now that sounds crazy, but the reason you need to do that is that if you start 6 weeks before, you have a good chance of someone having heard about it 2 or 3 times in your church building, and then hopefully outside in some other opportunities. So I would structure something like this. I'd say 6 to 8 weeks out, we start hinting and giving just an idea that an opportunity is coming in the church services, maybe in print in terms of a bulletin. You let a couple weeks go by and you begin to add some other pieces. You begin to add it to your maybe your print bulletin. Maybe you create a flyer that you can hand out or people could use to invite their friends and neighbors who they know would be interested in that event. After a few more weeks, you begin to add it maybe to your email newsletter, or you begin to text message it out. You make sure it's on your website so people who hear about it can get more information. You make sure you've got some resources available that people can use to invite their friends. And all of this really is with the goal of getting people to have heard about things enough times. And the thing you just have to remember is that while you've been working on this and it's the only thing you've been thinking about, this event is coming, how do I get people to hear about it? How do I make sure they know? It's not the only thing in their life, and it's not taking up the amount of time that it's taking up for you as you prepare the communications. And they're not listening to everything you're putting out there. So if you think you've talked about something 10, 12 times and it seems excessive to you, just remember that the average listener has probably only heard about it 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 times, and that's if they're really connected to a lot of information that you're delivering. So it's just something to think about. Start a little earlier in your promoting and make sure you cover a number of areas to get people past that threshold where they're ready to make a decision. Now, if you found this helpful, I'm going to be answering questions just like this. I promise to keep those answers short and not go on for days because I know you live busy ministry lives. And if you'd like to hear more and see more, make sure you join the email list. There's a link on this page, and get answers to questions that you too are struggling with in your ministries. This is Ryan with Rad Ideas. Until next time, blessings.